setting the vibe for 2025. And here we will first take a look at the vibes from within. So what's new emerging for 2025? And of course, for all these topics, you're still welcome to engage. You will see who the co-creators are, and we are happy to bring you forward or maybe activate your local engagements on the same topics. First, as Ramit has already said, and if nothing else, you probably have heard about this incredible initiative that is happening together with 81 for Cuba, Coalition for Humanity. Manica has mentioned it, Ramit has mentioned it, I had it in my slide. So it's time to hear from the one who keeps the heartbeat of the project going and who's an incredible driver behind the manifestation of our commitments. So we made a commitment. Kartika is the one who is manifesting all this. So Kartika, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Violetta. I hope everybody can hear me. The Cuban connection gods have been quite kind to me this morning.
So do let me know if you're able to hear me better now.
Much better.
Much better.
Because I've changed. Oh, great. I think now I've unleashed the true glory of Cuba, which is the background noises and the chaos behind me. So I'm sure all of you can enjoy that along with the presentation. I'm just going to quickly go back and repeat what I said. The International Conference for World Balance is an international conference which is hosted every 2 years. It started back in 2003 with the sole aim of trying to create a balanced and a more equitable world. And next year, we're going to have it in January from 28th to the 31st. And I'm so glad to have so many people here who are actually going to be joining us in Havana as well. So I really cannot wait to meet all of you in person. We've talked on call, we've talked on email, and I really do look forward to meeting all of you in Havana next month. And so to talk a little bit about the conference, it doesn't really matter, and this is the best part about it. It doesn't really matter what you are, who you are, what you're doing at this point of time. But if your objective or if your goal is to create or be part of a more balanced and a more equitable and a more safer world for all of us, then this is the place that you need to be. And you could find ways, you can find solutions, and you can find people within this network who could work with you, help you, collaborate, and get us all towards that world. The wonderful part of this event also is that this time Ecocivilisation is also hosting a program within a space within the conference. It's going to be a 1.5-day program, which would include round discussions, panel discussions, which would have round tables. We would have showcases from around the world, beautiful work that people have been doing from across countries, across sectors, to work towards the goal of creating a balanced world. And in true Cuba fashion, the one thing that does set the conference apart is the fact that this is not a conference where experts come to just talk point and audiences come to consume that knowledge, but it's a gathering of friends, which is what makes it all the more special. It's people coming from all walks of life together. Some would be journalists, some would be engineers, some would be working in the tech industry, some would be in the social sciences, some would be students who are just trying to figure out what to do next in the world and trying to find some inspiration there. There would be people from across ages, across disciplines, and for those 4 days, their disciplines or their preferences won't matter, because all of them would come together and just be friends with each other, talk to each other about how they feel, how the world makes them feel, and how they want the world to look like maybe in the near future. So if you're joining us, I see Viviana here, I see Manika here, I see Aarti here, I see Martina here. A lot of these people are already joining us, and I can't really wait to see them in person. But if you think that you can join us in January, consider this as a sign from the universe that it's time to book your tickets to Cuba. But I don't want to stop right there because I also want to talk about what this conference has done in the past. Uh, Ramit, Violetta, and Deidra were already part of this conference the last time in 2023. And I believe that the work that we have done in Cuba thus far has been a direct consequence of the conversations and the experiences they had in Cuba. I remember when I was setting off to go to Cuba for the first time, having conversations with Violetta and Deidra about the importance of urban agriculture, the importance of or, organic agriculture, especially in a world where access to food, where access to good quality food has become incredibly challenging. And with that thought, I came into Cuba, and with those very inspiring thoughts, I figured that maybe we could find a way to do something here. And that is when Patria Siembra took birth. It's something which is powered by the same philosophies, eco-civilization, and the same philosophies that we've been talking at eco-civilization for so long, about cross-pollination, about reaching out to people and connecting them with each other to create something beautiful, which caters to not just themselves but to the larger society, because that's how we're going to reach to a place where everybody can have a safe and secure and peaceful future. uh, Apart from the importance of urban and organic agriculture, living here, I realized that getting access to food is a practical problem also. It's firstly, being a tropical country, it does not have the same level of diversity in fruits and vegetables that it potentially can have. There is a lot of untapped potential when it comes to Cuba, and it does become this place which has solved a lot of problems that we honestly are scrambling about, like extremism, for instance, or just our failure to be able to trust each other, our fellow citizens or our fellow friends without qualms. Cuba does not have those problems at all. You could genuinely just knock on somebody's door and expect them to receive you like you're their old friend. And because of that, I think I've made a Cuban family of my own. So there would be 3 different Cuban grandmas and 4 different Cuban mothers and a lot of Cuban aunts who would be more than happy to make sure that I'm doing well, even when I'm not doing, or even when I'm struggling. But the fundamental problems that we face, and material problems that they face, like food security, is something that we can all come together and find solutions for. And find solutions in a way which are more inclusive, which are more sustainable, which are more true to the way human beings are supposed to live, as opposed to commodifying everything or commercializing everything. And that's how Patria Siembra also started. So we created an online community of more than 150 people. So we have more than 150 people in Cuba who actively connect with each other to teach each other how to start growing fruits and vegetables in their homes, in their patios, in their neighborhoods, so that they don't build food security at a national level in one day. They start from their homes, they start from their neighborhoods, and then they create capacities from the ground up so that they have control over their own needs. They can cater to themselves and serve the community at the same time. uh, we and another thing that we end up doing is we align ourselves with a lot of national institutions. So we have the Jose Mati Program Office, we have the CDRs, which is the Neighborhood Watch, which was developed as part of the neighborhood communities that they end up building, and we align with them as well to spread this message across societies. But the reason I wanted to kind of talk about this project was also because that was what the result of the conference was 2 years ago. So I can't really wait to see what this January brings us and what it leads to. And I'm sure there are a million things that we can do. And with the amount of people coming, and then there are more than 1,000 delegates across 89 different countries. So we already have a considerable presence of eco-civilization around the globe, but it's a beautiful opportunity for us to just branch out and get more of those countries out there from out there as well. And I really look forward to meeting as many of you in Havana as possible.
Thank you, Kartika. This was fantastic and a very clear invitation. But I'd like to just reinforce one message that Kartika shared. You know, we were there only a year and a half, let's say 2 years ago. So in 2023, in January. And since then, so much has evolved. 8.1 has done some incredible jobs. And with a little more participation of Ecocivilisation and building up these networks of food self-supply and exchange of information, exchange of practices for permaculture, for dynamic farming and things like that, these are enormous potentials. And so whoever wants to be part of this hype, please join us. And connect and bring your own heart and visions. And something unique about Cuba is that it's, in a way, 65 years of isolation. It's a horrible thing to happen to a country. But on the other hand, it's a very unique ecosystem. So nowhere else in the world you will find something like that. So thank you, Kartika. And it's a pleasure now. It's 8.1 Corner. It's a pleasure to invite the next two speakers. There are two projects that we've been now for a few years collaborating and with Ecocivilisation and 8.1. And Ramit has already mentioned them. So FAIR Project and Global Open House. And I invite first Aparna and then Isha to share the stories of these two projects and open up the edges even more for more people to join. Please.
Thank you, Violetta, and hello, everyone. It is so amazing to be here. My heartfelt congratulations to the whole of Ecocivilization team, the amazing work that everyone has been doing. It has been so inspiring to just have been listening throughout. And like Violetta mentioned in the very beginning when she was speaking about Ecocivilization and how it came into being, Ecocivilization started 5 years ago in 2020, and that was also when we were conceptualizing the FAIR project. And Violetta has been there, part of the project since day zero, not even day one. And for us to be officially collaborating with Ecocivilization for the project is nothing short of surreal. So thanks so much, Violetta, for allowing us to pick your brain every year. And we will continue to do so. So I will give everyone a little bit of a background on what we have been up to with the FAIR project. It is an annual experiential program that we host for young change makers from all over the country in India. And so far in the last 5 years, we have engaged with over 148 change makers. And since we open up applications each year, we have received over 3,000 registrations from all over the country of young change makers who really want to engage and do something to bring about the change that they envision for a fairer world. To the extent that this year, at the end of the project back in July, we launched the Changemakers Guide to a Fairer World, which collated all of their thoughts, all of their conversations, and was a culmination of all of the work that they had done up till then into this little guide that they made to create a guide, to create a roadmap for a fairer world and how we can achieve it. And since the program has achieved so much success online, for its next 5-year cycle, what we are planning to do is to take it to the ground and include a short immersion, offline immersion element to it. And because of the close community that the cohorts have become together, and all of the 96 plus speakers and mentors from across the world, from across disciplines, who have engaged with our change makers and guided them to this stage. We're now taking it forward and bringing it to the ground. And the idea for the next 5 years is to get the change makers to address concerns of public institutions and infrastructure in India, starting with public health institutions in India in the year 2025, wherein they will be taking on the task of looking at all of the various challenges that the public health infrastructure in India is facing and trying to develop a roadmap to bringing in fairness for those areas. So that's really where we are going to be beginning 2025 with, and there is a lot that is going to be happening soon, beginning January 2025 itself. So that was a little bit about the FAIR project, and again, really excited to be partnering with Ecocivilisation on this one. Thanks, Violetta.
Yes, thank you very much. Incredible, Aparna. And I have to be very humble here. I'm just a little, maybe positive sparkle into your movement, but 99% of the work, that's on you. And let's hope that we will co-create in the future something that will bring even more meaning to this really important initiative that addresses young people, involves them, and gives them a chance to deliver on something they believe in. It's so inspiring. Thank you very much. And Isha, the floor is yours with the Global Open House, which also is primarily for the youth, but of course, everybody else is welcome. And I will say something which probably, Isha, you will not. This has been co-created really together with 8-1 and Ecocivilisation, but we hold the space open until somebody is talking. Okay, so Isha will share the record that
Yes.
Ramit is holding about how long this conversation can go. Isha, the floor is yours.
Yes. Thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful experience listening into everyone. And what I'm about to share with all of you is no different from what we've already heard. We've heard about networking, we've heard about holding that space for conversations, that space for taking ideas forward from so many of us. I think Felipe and even Matik and so many of you have shared today. And when you were sharing these words and these learnings that have come from your experience, they resonated so very well with what we are doing. And just to sort of give all of you a little bit of context, the Global Open House is we are in fact going to host our 13th edition tomorrow, and it's a space where there is no agenda, there is no time limit, as simple as that. It's a space where we want everybody to come and have conversations. There are no moderators, there are no speakers, and sort of guests who sort of share a message or that they would like to. It's really a space where we want everybody to have that emergence, that we talk about. And we've actually experienced it. And as Violetta was just mentioning, our record has so far been for 17 hours, one of our longest call. But at the same time, we've also had calls which have lasted for 2 to 3 hours. But that is also because, we all respect the kind of time and conversation that sometimes take place, sometimes they don't. So, it's not a place where we judge, right? It's not a place where we like to enforce or push people in any way, shape, or form. So that is really one of the essence that we really like to sort of imbibe and take forward. While it is, yes, we do agree that because of our connection with the youth, we do end up seeing a lot of applicants and the people from the FAIR project joining in. We've also had a lot of guests across the world who have joined in time and again whenever time permits. But we really would, this is really an opportunity for all of you, and it would be so lovely to have our conversations that we are having right now to sort of extend, because I know that there were moments in between where we all wanted to sort of pause and discuss on something, but there's so much more to share that, and because this is a little bit of a time bound event, but tomorrow there's that space that's open for everyone, and I'm certain that these are not just conversations and casual talks that happen. These are seeds that sort of are sown into our subconscious, and which do start growing. And just to give you a little bit of an example, that there are sometimes conversations that we've had, and I'm sure Violetta, Ramit, everybody would sort of go back. We had a conversation on elections, and we started taking in all these perspectives from Cuba, from Slovenia, from other parts of the world, and even within India, the kind of diversity and the experiences that we've had with various levels at which democracy and how elections have been panning out. And that itself brought out the diversity and the range of emotions, of learnings, and of ways in which human behaviors just flourish and function. And it was so insightful for us to sort of experience that collectively. So there are always these moments of wisdom that one gains, simply by even listening in to these conversations. And that's the beauty of Global Open House. And tomorrow, it is happening from 3 p.m. CET. And of course, we'll be there till you are there. So there really is no time limit to it, even if you're not able to join in at 3 p.m. But whenever you've had the time, just maybe click on the link and you'll see what's happening. So I'll just quickly share the link on the chat. And yeah,
And
we're open to
Aparna
questions.
has done it. Aparna has done it.
Great. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Isha, for bringing us on board on this very exciting project. Yeah, product. It's happening a few times per year, not that often, but I've learned so much. As much as you remember the political discussion, I remembered a lot about the discussion about caste systems and how young people feel and the transformative power that they bring at the table. It was, for me, an incredible training session, education per excellence. So thank you very much. But I have
Sorry, I'd just like to add one more thing. And on all of these calls, this is just a personal thing that I'd like to add. Violetta is one of the best people to sort of provocate or sort of nudge a conversation, and then we see it, it rolling out and sort of unfolding. So for me, that's one of the best, the highlights of these open conversations. So yeah.
Thank you, Isha. And it's time to move forward. Now, these are the three projects that will be happening in 2025. And we're now making announcement of two very important series of events. Our year of Ubuntu, circular economy, and then water has really prompted a new sort of need for a longer continuous discussion on particular topic that is challenging to the movement itself. So it always idea comes from the members. So that's how two new series were born, and we found them so important that we said, okay, we can handle two. Even though it's a lot of work, but we will handle this year two of them, and every 2 weeks from February on, we will have eco-civilization conversations. One will be in the year of mental health, and the other one will be on leadership challenged. So right now, I'm inviting Eleftheria and Rajni briefly, please, to share the essence of this movement. Why did we decide to go for it? And what are your expectations at the end of this flow? Eleftheria, Rajni, the word is yours.
Thank you, Violeta, once again. And as I mentioned in my previous presentation, that we began the mental health awareness movement in March 2024 with Waha Women. And we are committed to carrying this mission forward through eco-civilization to reach a broader audience. So together with my friend Eleftheria, and of course Violeta is always there with us, we are planning to celebrate the year 2025 as a year of mental health through a series of webinars. So let me show you some of the glimpses of the highlights, some of the reasons why we thought of that we should be celebrating this year 2025 as a year of mental health awareness. Because first of all, we believe that mental health is a pillar of resilience and sustainability, because through prioritizing mental well-being, we can think of building a healthy society, resilient beings, and fostering sustainable development. Secondly, we always feel that breaking the stigma around mental health is very, very imperative. It is essential that we should, if not able to break down the stigma 100%, at least we will try to reduce the stigma around mental health, which we feel is very critical for creating a society where everybody can feel safe and they could thrive as an individual. Only when we allow individuals to contribute to their full potential, when we break these kind of stigma in the society, and we hope for a prosperous and flourishing future for humanity. And the third point that I have listed down is empowering stewards of societal and civilizational change. That essentially means that any civilizational change comes with good mental health, and good mental health equips individual to lead and inspire transformative change, and helps them think beyond existing mindset and act with care and compassion. Empathy is very, very important in any society. So as it is we believe that it is key to nurturing leaders who can guide our civilization towards a more balanced and sustainable and harmonious future. We feel that we should be working towards mental health, and we should be celebrating the year 2025 as a full-fledged mental health year awareness year. And to take us through the next part of the presentation, I would like to invite my friend Eleftheria. I hope Eleftheria is around us.
Thank you, Rajni.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Rajni, I don't know if you have the next slide, possibly.
Yeah, I have.
Thank you so much. There's mental health. For those of you who really know me, I'm super passionate about it. It's what I'm trained in, and it was a huge blessing and honor for this to emerge. And I think what we're seeing in the world right now is a massive need for us to start focusing on that, but also from a holistic perspective, and also take into account that we are our environment, and our environment is us. There's no separation in this. And so the purpose for our mental health here, and the essence of it, is one, to raise awareness, to really increase understanding. I still find, after kind of working in this field for 22 years, that there's still also a huge stigma around it. And so it's really just helping people. The first part of our series is really just simply explaining and understanding what it is, where do you go, to whom, for which issue, and to also just start normalizing conversations around mental health. Then we're also going to, for the second part of our series, and we invite all of you to really come and join us on this journey, because it'll be a journey in the inner and the outer worlds. The second part of the journey is really about creating safe places. And for what I'm hearing with 8.1, this is one of those safe spaces that is created in the world. But how can we create those safe spaces at home, within ourselves, corporate world, in every space that we can find? A space where we are emotionally and psychologically safe, where we are without any judgment. That's when we can have the conversations, the real conversations, to meet heart to heart and talk about the real issues of the day. And also, we will be providing resources. So we really want to be speaking, we will be inviting and speaking to experts in different fields, to offer us some information and tools and books and practices that really help us to one tool I shared with you today was the bee breath, which is about regulating the nervous system. But there are so many different tools which we can offer ourselves and others around us to really move into wholeness and wellness as one collective ecosystem. So that'll be the year of mental health.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And of course, it's starting, as we said, in basically in March with the full scale. And it's still time to join, to suggest some additional activities around this topic. And of course, we'd be happy to we'd be happy to support you and try to include you in the overall program. So this, thank you, Eleftheria, and thank you, Rajni, for giving us the essence of this year of mental health. And the next one that came forward, and it's also attracting a lot of attention, is the Year of Leadership Challenged. It's not to learn about the current styles of leadership. What we realized is that throughout our activities in the last 4.5 years, we've seen so many leadership schools. I'm not going to have a lecture here, but it's an amazing amount of leadership courses and leadership schools around the world. But look around. The world is getting worse and worse in a sense, especially through leaders that are trained and educated through those schools and training. So we said, okay, let's try to take a little bit deeper look at this and see, can we challenge the way how we see the leadership and the content that's been taught in those leadership courses and schools, and can we learn something out of it and maybe send a little impulse to the space where possibly we could shift the focus and orientation of the concepts of leadership. So we have with us Mar and maybe also Andrea, and I would like to invite to a little comment about why are you part of it and how do you find what we prepared so far for 2025. Mar, the word is yours.
Thank you so much, Violeta. You have started with the correct way of doing it. As always, you spot on how much famous it became the concept of leadership. However, how we implement it and how we could do it to make it better, how we could shape the leadership towards a new generation, and from us to change our mindset of how we need to lead. Do I share my presentation now, or you want just a few words?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So I will share because I prepare like the 7 minutes that you asked me for.
Try to shorten it a little bit if you can, because
yes, it's 7 minutes. 7 minutes, as you said.
Okay.
You know, that's why I think we need to move from this charismatic leadership that is part of our generations. No, we have the leader. As you see, the chairs, the green chairs. No, they are all there sitting, looking at the leader. Instead, we need to go to a result-driven leadership. I think that the world is claiming for that and is crying in sometimes for that because of that crisis. So maybe you wanted to be in the chair, orange chair, because you feel like, for example, Violeta is our orange chair, just sitting there, and maybe you share, but we share the same leadership, you know, and so it's we need to work on what is the protagonism, the role of the leaders in the society that should be different. So for me, the agenda of leadership, and when I say agenda, I say political agenda as well. For me, it have to be from 4 main aspects: education, tech, ethics, and legal. So what I mean with each of these topics, first of all, education, educating us to be different in the way we lead. This is something that it's not about only to be self-critical. It's about just to change completely the style of leadership, starting from political leaders specifically. And then for the new generations, develop on then critical thinking. Now it's just a matter of options. There are education systems, there are schools, there are focus on what is the individual. Now we need to be really the human center, not an individualistic idea, not selfish, just to create their own ideas of what is good and what is not. Sometimes when you see wars, when you see climate action, when you see the political crisis, you realize that it's a matter of common sense. So if we try to make citizens, doesn't matter if they're creative or not creative, creating creativity. This is a matter of working on creativity. So for me, education, leading on education, creating leaders on creation. This is for me for the new generation. Then on tech, what's happening with tech? Because now we have robots that are artists. They create their own paintings. We have a woman, a Spanish woman who lives in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, that she married in a ceremony an hologram. She created an hologram that is his husband, and she said that this is a way to fight back loneliness. So what we are having is, because this has changed completely, so we are creating a new shape for values. There are brand new values. Well, so I strongly believe that we need to lead, and this is something that is our responsibility, to lead on what is traditional values adapted to what is a technological development, and not the other way around. And for that, we need to be sure to create systems where ethics, where transparency, respect, generosity, solidarity became part of everything, and claim for that, be very strict on how we defend values, leading on high values. And then we have ethics, and ethics is very difficult because you have a moral frame, you create it for your culture, your education, your own ideas, and then you build the priority of values based on that moral framework. But what happens when you have these chairs, all different colors? This is religion, this is tradition, this is personalities. So the values will be different. So the only thing that you could assure and leading on that is that the transparency and accountability mechanisms are there. So you are not biased in terms of values. You don't create values, you create your own values. So to have a strong personality on that, and don't let them influence. And when we talk about social media, is quite a chaos, and it's becoming an ad hoc power that we need to fight back with a very strong body on what is ethics. And then we have the legal aspects. Leading in legal is part of the government. We think that's the public sector, that politicians, legal, and the citizens vote, and that's it. But what happens when we go beyond the public sector? When we realize that the decisions that are taken is not what the citizens wanted, and I don't want to enter in political issues, but what happened in the European Union, what is happening currently now, when you see the service of the citizen is completely different, and the decisions that are being taken. So this is the two stairs that are crossing, and we cannot get to the top on that. We are going circular. So this is a matter of social responsibility, and the first one is the leading of the civil society, a new role. So be creative, because now it's not working the way we are doing it. But this movement of eco-civilization, G100 as a platform, so we are rehearsal, at least we are rehearsal of how we could lead differently. So for finally, the last slide, a roadmap on leadership for me had to be leveraging ethics at the very first. Humanizing tech, we are doing the other way around. We are getting robotized. We are automatizing our values. So let's do it the other way around. Then let's put it human on that technology. Legal compliance, it doesn't matter if we have the legal, we have the regulation, we need the compliance, and of course more regulation, what is all related to AI. And finally, educating towards social commitment and values. We are walking towards not leading. Most of the new generations don't want to lead, and they give up. So creating responsibility is about creating leadership. And thank you so much. I hope I don't take much time.
You were very much on time. Thank you very much for this introduction we as people were able to see the poster, there is a co-creation of 4 people. There's a co-creation of 4 different networks. So we will get really good experiences from different mindsets, different cultural frameworks, and different value sets. But at the same time, we will be looking for this future orientation and the future meaning of leadership. So please join us and be part of this creation.